I used to own a furniture restoration business and did for about 10 years. So this isn't exactly a piece of furniture, but I do want it to be sealed up so every time something spills, it doesn't turn into another stain. So I put the first coat on, and then I did a light sand as per the instructions on the can, and now the second coat's going on. That's probably going to be all I need. Now, one thing about shellac is you want to keep it stirred up because it does like to settle to the bottom. I like shellac, just it's a little old school, but it works pretty good. Always, when you're putting a finish or a stain on, go with the grain. Seems obvious, but when I had the shop, so many people would come in with their attempt, and it was often because they went against the grain, and then those ridges and valleys just don't look good. Now this is just rough cut lumber. Again, we're not trying to make a piece of furniture here. We're just trying to seal this up so it doesn't stain easily. The one thing I like about shellac is you can go over it again in a couple years and the layers will melt together. Always go back and blend those sections like so. Get knots like that, and I'll show a couple more. I like to flood those so it kind of soaks in a little bit. Because you really want that sealed up too. So I'll just put too much on and then I'll even that out. But if it has a minute to soak in, it'll stay, it'll just work its way down, especially in some of these poor pieces of wood like that, sections of wood. So just, and multiple thin coats are always better than one thick coat, especially with shellacs because they do melt into each other. When you get into polyurethanes and some of those, there's a mechanical bond between the layers, but they're actually separate layers. Works just fine, nothing wrong with that, but they are separate layers with a mechanical bond. And I'm using a chip brush, which I would never use on a good piece of furniture, but here again, this is just a workbench, and I can throw it off. Really never been fond of cleaning brushes with from materials that aren't water-based finishes or water-based. Just want to watch. One of the things that when you get into the multiple coats is it gets harder to tell what you've done and haven't done. There we go. Put a little more on the ends. Seal the ends up a little more. Probably doesn't matter, but I'm doing it anyway. In the front. That will help keep things clean looking. I can clean up a spill. I've got another little table I can show. Maybe I'll take a picture and show you. I never did that, and it's just full of little stains. Motor oil and vinegar. I like to do a final one across. Again, just to even things out. If you have any puddles hiding, takes care of that. And like I said, I've already done the other boards here using the same method. There you have it. I'll let that dry, and probably the last coat, but I'll take a look when it's dried and make a final decision.